All right, I guess that's the intro music. So we have printed 3 more of the Shooter's Almanacs, and I think we've got that figured out. So we have been printing these things on our printer here, and I think we got the ink figured out. This is the third one, and it's already up on the Gear website store. So this is the third one we've ever printed, and you can see that the margin over here was still messed up, so still working. I actually tweaked it the wrong way, so I tweaked it to go in instead of out. So this one printed decent, and I cut it and assembled it pretty decent, but it's tweaked in. So this is the last one like that. This is number 3, and it's on the store right now. So then I printed number 4, and I figured out, I think, how to tweak it back the other way. I did, and you can kind of see that there's a bigger gap here. So I got that figured out, but then the yellow ran out. I guess there's a lot of yellow in the Shooter's Almanac, and you don't realize it, but the yellow ran out way before the red or the blue. So this one is basically entirely goofy looking. It's printed okay, but it's entirely goofy looking because there's no yellow. And I didn't know what to do, so I just let it keep printing, and I was kind of curious to see how long the black was going to run, and it was out of yellow. Everything else worked okay, but it's got like a real goofy color to it, right? It's wrong. So all the faces look a little blue, but anyway, I'm going to put this one up as print number 4, and its positioning is better. Colors off. I'm going to sell this one as a blemish, as a mix match. So that's number 3, number 4, and then we get to number 5, where I refilled the inks, and I think it worked, and then got the position over. So this is getting closer to be a pretty decent version of it. And the problem is I didn't cut it good. I'm still cutting it with a metal straight edge and an X-Acto, and it's not professional, I guess, but so I kind of mangled this one up a little bit. I did decent on these others. Of course, they got their own issues. So none of these things is perfect. They're all unique. And this one will be, let's see, 3, 4. This one will be number 5, the 5th print, and the first one that's kind of good to go. So even in the middle, lots of room in between, and as you zoom out to the different pages, plenty of room. And it's important because on the inside, I don't know what you call this part of the page, we've got the gun quiz. So every page has a quiz question, and then the next page has the answer question to the next one, answer question, right? And then on this side, you've got quotes on every single page. So I tried to use every bit of the page, and you kind of fiddle around. You have to look at the thing in all different directions to read it all. But that was the toughest part, is trying to jam that stuff all in there and still have the staples hit at the right spot. And you can also see on these first prints, the picture goes right up to the edge, like right up to the edge, and that's pretty tough to get them staples to hit right on. So now you can see there's a nice gap to the edge, and it's shifted over a little bit. Now I don't know if I should shift it over a little bit more. I'm still learning that, but this was I guess a quick video. I'll end it here pretty quick, just to let people know there are 3 more versions up on the site. They're not cheap. You're buying these things as an investment in what we're doing. We're trying to keep doing our thing and grow and do better. So these are printed here by me right now. Well, we printed them this week, and with our $44 printer. So the first one of these that sold bought this printer, and then the second one sold. There's only 2 sold so far. Purchased a bunch of the ink. So now these are getting us past our initial investment and into actual investing into the other projects we're working on. I can show you a little bit of behind the scenes. And that's this one called the 50 States of 2A. This will be the second one I'm doing. And still I had to figure out the positioning, so I should be able to pull that back over. And we've got the color, so we should be able to do full color everywhere. And this one is similar information as the Shooter's Almanac. Not so much information, and then specific to the state. So each state gets a page, And then it's got everything. Let's find a page that actually has something, like a state like Arizona where we're doing something, or Florida. There's a state that does a lot. You've got inventors, you got activists, you got organizations, you got rallies, and I'm still adding. So I'm still trying to figure out how to lay it all out. But this is the 50 states of 2A, and that'll be a project I'm working on. This is a way to facilitate that. So if you're interested in getting an almanac, which has all kinds of interesting stuff in it, it's full color. It's got things like a calendar, of course, industry events, rallies, which are in flux. So this is a historical look at what the rallies would have been. You got your Second Amendment history throughout, firearms inventors, patents, anniversaries, laws. We got shooting sports things in here, things for military. We've got people's birthdays. We've got all kinds of gun owners' rights information in here. Firearms museums, quotes, humor. Got sections at the end that talk about podcasters and radio shows, and there's a schedule of podcasts, a weekly schedule, as well as gun owners' rights groups featured on every single page. So at the bottom of every single page, there's a gun owners' rights group, right? And there's a museum or some event or some place to visit on the left on each page. Then you've got each week of the year gets a page in the almanac. Towards the beginning, like a real almanac. So we just got a super chat here. Thanks for that. I just got a super chat check. It's like $100. So not a super chat for $100, but I got my YouTube check for $100. It was pretty decent. So I'm trying to figure out how to get this chat back, the text back. Guns and Barbecue says, I'm clinically blind. Any chance of doing an enlarged version? Potential price. Right on. Yeah, I can definitely do an enlarged version. I didn't even think of that. So thanks for saying that. I'll probably make it 8.5 by. I'll make it bigger format and just make it bigger, I think. Because that way I don't have to re-edit anything. I can just physically make it bigger. This is only 8.5 by 11 folded in half, so it's like 5.5 by 8.5, I guess. But yeah, thanks for that super chat and thanks for that idea. I'll definitely work on doing something like that. So I was saying, like an almanac, it's got your schedules and anniversaries and graphs and calendars and archives. So it starts out with the table of contents, of course, and then the schedule of what was supposed to happen throughout the year. A lot of this stuff towards the beginning of the year already happened. Some of this stuff is getting pushed around thanks to our infringements on ability to gather or assemble. And then, of course, we've got all the stuff that probably will still happen. Then we've got a couple of pages for just a timeline of 2A history, just a whole bunch of random stuff that in chronological order. Then we start out, like I say, with each page of the almanac is a week. So you have each day of the week from Monday through Sunday. And when it's appropriate, I've got, like, if it's a week, like, the week dedicated to some thing or awareness, or if it's a month dedicated to something, that's usually notated at the top of the page. Now at the bottom of each page, there's a place to visit or a museum or an event or something. Of course, I say that, and then every once in a while I do something a little different. So, like, here's a list of all the federal laws, federal firearms laws. We've got organizations on the right side. So at the bottom third of each page is sectioned off, and on the right side of the book is organizations. As I thumb through them, you see they kind of go chronologically, the order which they were invented, and then it just kind of goes random. I can't mute when I'm on the phone, so you gotta listen to my Corona cough. Let's see. So basically, that's the majority of the book is all the different things throughout the year that are by the week, or sort of formatted by week. Then when you get to the end of the year, you have a schedule of weekly podcasts. This is all the people on gun channels that were doing live stuff. Of course, that's changed quite a bit now. And then everybody else who I knew that was doing either live shows, recording their radio shows or their podcasts, and tried to put all that in this weekly schedule. Of course, we got the tree, trying to visually show the relationship between the different infringements and laws and import bans and then the organizations that resulted in these different waves of infringement. Then to kind of give some visual angle to our Second Amendment history, we've got stuff like Boots on the Ground, a whole page dedicated to the Boots on the Ground organizations and the people that founded those organizations. Ideally, I'll go in and add some more blurb to that, some actual writing in there. And then we got bloggers, researchers, radio hosts, and podcasters. Again, trying to let people know about who all shoulders we're standing on. Then the rallies. I had a couple of 2 pages almost dedicated to the rallies. Like I say, a lot of these already happened. A bunch of them are getting mixed up right now. We're missing iGold, the Missouri, the Washington. We're going to miss the Minnesota one and the Oklahoma one. There's a Georgia one coming up this month. We'll miss an Ohio one. And then we got stuff happening in May and June. So hopefully that stuff will still catch on. I listed all the states that had passed hunting or removed the infringement on hunting with suppressors or removed the prohibition on hunting with suppressors, just to add some more info. And then let's get the list of the national or the big, important, interesting gun shows. A little bit about our projects, and then full color back. So I tried to keep it kind of interesting on the front so that it's easy to remember if you see this in a pile or something, and not waste a lot of ink. But I did put a full color back, so just because why not waste a lot of ink? Anyway, that's a quick walkthrough, the Shooter's Almanac. We built this over the course of a couple years, put it together at the end of last year because we went to the 2A rally. We kind of let this thing go and didn't ever get it crowdfunded, so we never really printed these. So I've got the editing done, and because of the infringements on our right to assemble, all these rallies are not happening. So I'm going to have to rewrite this, I imagine, in a couple of months. And when I do, I'll probably do another effort to get them published in mass. So we'll have to get a bunch, try to get a bunch of them published so that they're not crude. But these versions here, these crude versions, are being made, like I say, on this $44 printer. And we really appreciate it. You're paying a lot of money. We charge $45 for these, so it is an investment in what we're doing here. It's not an inexpensive book, like it's designed to be a $7.62 book. So instead, it's an investment in our projects. So we do appreciate the people that do buy these. You're looking at $100 right here. So if people buy these, you'll help us do what we're doing. If you don't, well, they're just going to sit here on the shelf. But I think with that, we'll say thanks again to the people that chatted with us live here. I didn't expect that. I was really just doing this to be lazy, so I didn't have to record and then post a video. But it looks like, let's see, S&S Pawn is out there talking about the weather up there. It sucks. Pretty nice weather down here, actually. This is the time to live in Arizona. I would say come down and visit, but we've got infringements on our right to travel right now. Sounds about right. And it was Winston. Again, Guns and Barbecue, thanks for the $5. I do appreciate it. It's definitely appreciated. And I guess that's everybody. So whoever showed today, thanks for that. If you're listening to this in the future, we do have these 3 copies of the Shooter's Almanac up on the Gear website store, or will have in a moment. The third one, which is good color, but I didn't have the whatever that's called, juxtaposition. I don't know what that's called. That's probably why I haven't fixed it yet. But I have it over to the left. This will be the third one. The fourth one is the one that the yellow ran out, so there's kind of no yellow in it, but otherwise it's good shape. And it's the first one I moved it over. And this one, this will be the third, fourth, the fifth one will be the first one where there's good color with the new color cartridges I refilled, and then moved it over. So the first of the gooder ones. I might still try to move it over. I'm afraid I'm going to run into running stuff off this edge, but that's what I'm cutting our teeth here. So thanks again for your interest. Till next time, thanks for watching.